How are your clients using this cross-platform technology?
Well, we have services in the marketplace today, and we certainly have services that are being developed on the horizon. So the things that we have out in the marketplace today, we have a service called ARB TV, which is an out-of-home television viewing service. Turner is a major client of that service, and they're actually looking at out-of-home data on a campaign-by-campaign basis for their major advertisers. So how much lift is the out-of-home element bringing to each of the campaigns on Turner? And CNN and Headline News specifically, as well as the sports divisions at Turner, are utilizing that information. We have other services. ESPN is a major client of our services that simply leverage the full PPM panel. Today in the marketplace, every single day at Arbitron, we are collecting television and radio information from our full 70,000 person panel. So people like ESPN who have national interests in television and radio are utilizing our data to tell stories about their programming, their Mike and Mike programming, their football programming, and really the interplay of the television and the radio assets. So, you know, single source information for television and radio for major broadcast network clients. And then new on the scene, we have two new services that are more advertiser centric, and it's really, again, leveraging the full PPM panel, television and radio, but on a campaign basis. So we're actually not only encoding the network, but we're encoding the actual campaign. And what we're reporting to advertisers is, in aggregate, not on a network by network basis, but in aggregate, how are campaigns performing across television, across radio, and based on those campaign exposures from our panelists, we're able to go and do recontact interviews with people who we know were specifically exposed to the radio campaign or the television campaign to gain additional information that really attempts to link media exposure to the campaign to consumer outcome.
What metrics do you use for your cross-platform measurement of business?
Reach, frequency. You know, we're really looking at, you know, what is the duplicated and the unduplicated reach between television and radio. You know, it's all about the stories that we're telling with our data that we have today, which is really the national TV and radio data, is all about the interplay of the television and radio platforms. And I think, you know, into the future, where we're going is incorporating, you know, the digital pieces, the mobile pieces. But today we're really finding some very interesting stories in just simply being able to look at the interplay of TV and radio and how they complement one another, how they're both contributing to the overall effectiveness of the campaign and, you know, the different measurement.
Do you measure internet radio, and can you tell the difference between internet radio and regular radio?
We do measure internet radio for some of our clients. And we are in hot conversations with many of our clients about, you know, how we are going to report digital radio going forward. But today, you know, those conversations are ongoing with our major radio customers and are yet to be fully determined.
Do you use rating and share as a metric to join television and radio?
Yeah, we are working with all of the major broadcast and cable networks to get everybody PPM encoded. We do not currently do a lot of work on the television side on share because we don't have everybody in the marketplace encoded. Through our work with SIM, we are back sort of from our Apollo days. When we did the Apollo project, we had pretty much all of the broadcast and cable networks encoded. Through our work with SIM, we are back to having pretty much all of the broadcast and cable networks encoded, but we don't have everybody, so we don't spend a lot of we don't report on share for television.
What is your percent distribution for television?
You mean what percent do we have encoded?
Yes.
I don't know the actual percentage, but it's pretty much all of the major broadcast and cable networks.
And in terms of your distribution, your universe?
Well, we measure our ppm. We have about 50% of the U.S. population represented in our ppm panel. So our ppm panel is in the top 48 markets for radio. I believe it's the 44 television. It's 44 television markets, and so we represent about 50% of the U.S. population because our samples are in the metros, not in the DMAs.
What is the profile of your television sample?
Well, as I said, we're in the top 44 television markets across the country. We are in the metro, so we are A and B county, and we, certainly we represent about 50% of the U.S. population. We are in evaluation for making our sample projectable to the national population, and we're looking at different ways to be able to take that from an A and B county to a nationally projectable sample over the coming years.